Hello, I'm Diego Lizarazo, and this is part 4 of creating your own Christmas game. Please check the previous parts because I cover a lot of basics there. So I moved a couple of things around to make everything look better, stretching some of the images and locating the floor here. And now if we play our game, we're going to have something like this that adjusts the screen much better. And all in all, I think it looks better than what it did before. And we have a jumping Santa, so that's good. Now, right now, it's looking much better, but still, there's not exactly much to do. Santa just jumps around, and we don't have anything to do with him. So we're going to follow again Christmas factory example, and I'm going to make many gifts to fall from the sky, and they are going to start bouncing. So we have first to add the gifts themselves, and then to add some behaviors related to those. First, let's add the gift itself. So we just double click like we did before, add a sprite, click somewhere, so I'm going to put him like here, and I'm going to load an image that we have here, a gift, and we have our gift here. Okay, now that we have our gift, we need the gift to move on its own, and there's one behavior that is quite useful for that. So let's add it. So behaviors, add new, bullet. Now this behavior, how it comes by default, is not going to be really what we want. Let me show you what it is. It's just moving towards the side. It's kind of like, what you would expect from a bullet. It just has this direction and it's just moving towards that direction. What we really want is to have gravity and to make our gift to bounce. Unfortunately, we can modify the behavior here and to have that. So the first thing that I want to do is to change on the properties of the gift the speed. I think that's too much right now, so I'm going to put just 100. The second thing that I want to do is to change gravity. So right now we don't have any gravity, so we want that. So let me say gravity, I don't know, 300. It's a value. You can try different values to see which one is the one that adjusts to your game. And the last thing that I want is to change this property, bounce of solids. So if you remember, our floor, our ground, is a solid. So without any changes on the gift behavior, it's going to fall and it's just going to go through. So that's not what we want. What I want is to change this to yes. Now, this one we're also going to change, but I'm going to show you how it works up to this moment. You see? So you have a little bit of a bouncing behavior, and not just that. It's already kind of like doing small bouncing here, like parables, which actually looks kind of good. So you can leave it like that. You can see that your gift is kind of like bouncing, and or you can just changing the position, or you just can change the set angle to change it to no. Then you're going to have something like this. So your gift is always kind of like bouncing without changing the rotation, the orientation. So it's really up to you. So right now I'm just going to leave it like that and make it work. So that's good, but maybe for this game one gift is not enough. It would be good to duplicate this one, and we could double click and add another sprite and keep doing it, but it takes some time. So Construct 2 gives you the chance to duplicate things and to clone them. So whenever you have a new clone, a new instance of this gift, you're going to have all the behaviors that you have here. So that's good. And then you just have to change one of them, and it's going to affect all of them. So you just have to click on the gift, press the Control key, and then drag and drop. And then you are going to be able to create copies. So I just created a few. Let's see how that looks like. And you see that we have different gifts bouncing up and down, which is cool. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but all of them have kind of like a different movement. So what happens there? Well, what happens is that the height that I'm putting them here affects how much they're going to bounce back. So the ones that are up higher, they're going to bounce back higher. This one, for example, you see that it is bouncing back. The ones that are starting in a lower position, they don't have as much strength to bounce back. So they're not going to do it. And also this one, for example, is basically just staying in the same position, not changing much. Okay, so you can create as many gifts as you want, and if you can see in my original game, I kind of like created tons of gifts all around with different heights, and that's kind of cool. Now, there's going to be a problem with some of the gifts, and is that they are going to start bouncing, and at some point they're going to get out of the screen. So they are lost. Whenever they get off the screen after a little while, they're going to be lost, and they are going to just continue bouncing until they get off the platform, and then we don't really have much of a way to track them. So how do we solve that? We can add another behavior. So just pick here the gift, or pick one of the gifts here, and click behaviors, add new, and this one is going to be called wrap. So this is kind of like similar to the behavior that you would have, let's say, with Pac-Man, that when it goes out of the screen from one side, it's going to reappear in the other side of the screen. So that's kind of cool, because then these gifts are going to bounce, and then they're going to return from the other side. So you're never going to lose them. Just to make sure, I'm going to make the platform a little bigger on both sides, and then you have enough space for them to bounce back. Okay, so but right now we have a jumping Santa, we have some bouncing gifts, but we don't have anything like lives. We are not losing, we are just moving around. So I'm going to add a little bit more of things in the event sheet. So the first thing that I'm going to add is the concept of lives. Okay, and then we're going to detect collision. Whenever Santa collides with the gifts, we're going to do something. So let's go back here to the event sheet. So first I'm going to add a variable to add our lives. So you right click, not left like you were expecting, but right click to have this menu, and then you look for add global variable, this one with the green icon. I'm going to call it lives, and I'm going to give Santa 3 lives. So you see that you have this here. You can name it however you want, but in this case it kind of makes sense. I'm just going to leave it like that. Stay tuned for the following parts. We're getting really close to have a functional game, and I would love to see how it turns out.